Hello and welcome to another episode of the Never a Straight Answer podcast, the podcast that aims to cover a wide range of topics from conspiracy theories to popular culture and news. I'm your host Gaz, and joining me in the studio, well, he has risen. It's my co-host. We celebrate his return with chocolate eggs.
Oh yeah.
He is the COVID kid, Mr. Taylor.
Yeah.
How you feeling, bro?
Feeling better than I did.
Oh, it's so good to have you back. I mean, we missed last week. I'm sorry that we weren't around for you guys.
Sorry, but some dirty bastard come near me and give me some.
Someone didn't maintain social distancing.
They didn't.
And obviously he ended up with the COVID.
Yeah.
So you've been out of commission for the last week or two.
Yeah.
Nice, like you say, nice to see you back anyway.
Yeah.
And welcome back to all you guys. Welcome back, new listeners, and of course, repeat offenders.
Yes, keep repeating that.
Indeed. Well, this is the show for you if you're listening. You like mysteries and interest in conspiracies and UFO sort of stuff. But this week we're going to be looking into a French mystery.
Yes,
yeah,
bonjour.
It's stumped investigators for decades and has sparked many urban legends as well as showing up in popular media. This week we're going to be talking about the Vanishing Hotel.
Oh,
or the Vanishing Hotel room.
Yes.
Yeah, also known as, aka the Vanishing Woman.
Yeah.
It's an interesting It's an interesting urban legend, shall we say?
Yeah.
We're going to be deep diving into it a little bit later on in the show. That's all coming up very shortly.
Boom, boom.
Plus this week's random world events as well as NASA news. So well worth sticking around for. Mr. Taylor.
Yes.
What's your worst hotel going experience? Have you ever gone missing in a hotel?
No, to be honest, no.
Never. Have you had a bad hotel experience? I got lost in a caravan park once.
A caravan park.
Yeah.
Okay, no.
Yeah, but we're not interested. Come on, have you never gone missing in a hotel?
No, I'm actually really good at that kind of.
At what, hoteling?
Of knowing where I am at a certain spot.
Yeah. Do you know
the bogs are that way, right? I know that one.
He's like a navigation.
Yeah.
Stick Taylor in charge of navigation.
Yeah,
I mean, like I say,
there,
I was
eventually.
about 8 years old, and we had this game. Me and my brother were playing. We played, and then we called it Getting Lost.
Oh, yeah. Right, okay.
And if you actually managed to actually get lost, you won. But obviously, then
Hospital's
there
best
was
place for that.
There was a bit of a shit, I'm lost moment where you can't find your way back.
Now I've lost. What do I do?
You've won the game, but at what cost?
Well,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we're looking into it. I mean, we're looking into this specific story later on about being lost or people vanishing from hotel rooms.
Yeah.
But it happens more than you realise, and there's quite a lot of cases that we'll be looking into throughout the show. So don't just stick around.
Stick around,
awesome.
Listen to the good stuff.
It's all the good stuff. The whole thing, the whole kit and caboodle.
From the beginning to the end.
I like it.
Same here. And I hope you do too.
I know you've had COVID, but I've still got to ask, what have you been up to this week, Mr. Taylor? Have you had a happy Easter, by the way?
Happy Easter, everybody.
Happy chocolate egg-giving season.
I'm arrived. Where's me eggs?
Oh, shit. Now he's going to have all the Christians on our case as well as the Scientologists. Are you comparing yourself to Jesus? Who do you think you are, John Lennon?
Well...
So, I mean, you say you didn't do any eggs this year out like that?
No, because I'm not. To be honest, I'm not religious. You know what I mean?
But chocolate eggs are nothing to do with Jesus or religion.
Oh, they're supposed to be, aren't they?
It's about rebirth,
and
about kind of like nature and like the fertility season, if you want. Eggs being a sign of fertility,
or a gimmick,
or a chocolatey gimmick. Either way, they're delicious.
I mean, every year you're getting more and more bloody things you've got to go out and buy for no particular reason.
Well, yeah, it's like what's it? Do you know the comedian Eddie Izzard? Yeah, he does a great bit where it's like he's talking to a kid. It's like on Easter morning while they're chucking into the chocolate eggs for breakfast, and he's like, "You do realise Jesus died for your sins?" And he's like, "Yeah, no, it's great, isn't it?" As he's stuffing his face with chocolate.
like it. I've been just looking into. I've been actually looking into an old case, the real Battle of Los Angeles. I was looking into photographs and what evidence has been coming forward on that lately. And
so did you find anything new out?
Yeah, actually, the original photo was actually a copy.
Okay, so well, that's not the original photo then, is it?
Well, no, but
was it a doctored photo potentially?
Potentially, but it was
because if it's not the original, then if it's a copy, then there's always chance that it's been doctored.
Well, yeah, but there's also four letters.
So that kind of puts, the argument against it being an actual event.
What happened to the original, and why did the copy get?
Why did he ever? Why did he ever edit give you, edit redacted images and all the rest of it?
And then it was just bringing in stuff like they were saying about balloons, hot air balloons, and stuff like that, and it was like no, but then. There was a report as well on 118th Street where a UFO supposedly had crashed, and then like 4 letters have come forward from the military that are actually copies, so they can't actually check the authenticity. That's the fella.
You did say it right.
Yeah.
It was just I
just stopped halfway through.
You were unsure of yourself.
So I was like,
have confidence, son.
Yes.
Have confidence.
Oh yes. Well, so these letters can't be really seen as real evidence.
Legit
even
evidence.
Though it's the military letters.
Sometimes I think when evidence is put forward to, people are very quick to jump on it and say, yeah, that's legit. It's legit. It's like I kind of remember the guy who came forward with like little alien corpses, and he was saying, "I found a corpse, found a little alien," and then that it was just not what he said it was.
Well, Battle of Los Angeles is like one of the ones that I tend to go to say, "Well, answer that question." But then even watching about it, and it made me think to myself. Have I got this right?
Maybe we'll have a deep dive into the Battle of Los Angeles again, and try and find any new evidence that's come up.
Yeah. There's quite a few ideas now about it that are different to how it's been portrayed in the past. But I still think there was something definitely dodgy going on.
So you've spent most of your recovery time doing a bit of homework, have you?
Yeah.
Research. There's not much else you can do when you're sick,
really.
Apart from just like I can't be arsed doing any of that stuff because of ill.
I just try to sleep it off, and then when I was getting my concentration back, do a little research on that, and a little on the Templars as well.
I've been doing a lot of research on various topics for upcoming shows, which I think you'll all find quite exciting.
Oh yeah.
So other than that, I've been trying to get into. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a new series on Disney Plus called Moon Knight.
No,
it's a Marvel series. No. It's been a bit weird getting into it because it's one of those where when you don't know the property like very well, and it's like right, well I'm on board because it's Marvel and Marvel will do good stuff, but it's like it's because I don't know the character very well and I don't know all the backstory and stuff in this particular franchise. It's very kind of like they're not giving much away, and in what I've noticed with the Marvel series recently is like they're very kind of secretive about the whole plot until the last 2 episodes, and then everything happens in the last 2 episodes, and this is what's happening with this. But because I don't really know the characters, it's not enough to keep me interested. I think that it would be good if I was more involved in the story, but they've given it a big push on the market inside because they obviously want to sell Moon Knight.
But does it connect to any of the other
it's going
shows?
to. I reckon that in the future this Moon Knight is going to be essential to the Avengers and all the rest of it, as they all are. Do you know what I mean? They all end up teaming up, and it's this new wave of new heroes that they're trying to push in.
Well, Doctor Strangelove, the new video has just been dropped.
Yeah, there has.
Yesterday.
It's been a new trailer for the Multiverse of Madness, which is upcoming.
Which is surprisingly it's added onto the Spider-Man actually.
Well, of course, because of the multiverse connections. But obviously, this has been kind of going on since the WandaVision series, and having a multiverse. Then you've also got that going on in Loki,
Yeah,
where you've got a
that's a big
time
one,
variance agency and Kang the Conqueror. So, you've got a lot of this multiverse stuff happening. You've got Ant-Man coming
It's all
up.
coming to an end, man.
Quantumania, which is the new Ant-Man movie that's about to come out, which is also going to be set in the quantum
Big,
realm.
small,
And
everything's getting involved.
It's going to be bust the the Marvel
gonna be hard to
Cinematic
stop at the
Universe wide open. I'm looking forward to see what they're doing with it. Give Moon Knight a watch. It's got an interesting concept. It's kind of like about gods and about Egyptian gods. Kind of like the concept. I'm just hoping that it kind of delivers a bit more information because it's been a bit sparse on the
info.
Maybe I'm wrong. Tell me what you guys think. If you enjoyed the show, let us know.
Unless the info's coming from somewhere else, another series or something like that.
I tell you one other thing that because I've been pretty busy recently. I've been doing all sorts. Been out mountain biking and all sorts of stuff recently. But I did discover that. For our Canadian friends, because I know we do have some Canadian listeners. Well, hello.
You lovely Canadian.
We love a bit of Canadian people, and you know what's a popular? I don't know if they're they are seem to be a big franchise over in Canada. In Canada. Tim Hortons, they have opened over here.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, Tim Hortons. They do pancakes and maple syrup and with bacon. Oh my god! And the coffee's delicious.
Oh, good. Wow.
So,
a good coffee.
Loving that. I mean, I wonder if any Canadians have been over here and tried the Tim Hortons and if it's the same in England as it is in...
Wait, it's not.
But then I started wondering, have we just done some sort of trade deal with Canada?
Yeah, well,
is this the first of many exports from Canada?
It's open. It's open. It works for both of us. We're by the products, and
they'll be like that. We'll get a letter saying that we've just had our first Greg's open on a corner. Yeah, them selling pasties and sausage rolls by the bucket load because they're just
I can imagine that.
It's on Just Eat and everything or Deliveroo.
Totally imagine that. Totally.
But they're branching out Greg's,
Well, they are. They're getting everywhere now.
They are everywhere, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well,
sausage rolls.
Sausage rolls. Right. Anyway, that's a totally wrong song.
Yes.
So where are we going with this episode? Right. So we have got a sponsor as such.
We have.
Let's say sponsor affiliation.
Yes.
This week it's HelloFresh.
HelloFresh.
The meal kit that comes in a box. Anyway, HelloFresh UK, they're sharing a very exciting offer. Got a flash sale that's going on until the 20th of April, so make sure you get in quick.
Oh yeah,
because this is an offer that won't last.
Time's running out.
HelloFresh are excited to give you 60% off your first box and 35% off your next 3 boxes using the code that you'll find in the description and the link. So follow the link, place your order using the code, and you will get 60% off your first box, 35% off the next 3. Basically, HelloFresh, it's a pre-portioned ingredients with delicious recipes delivered every week. You can save by not going to the supermarket and buying more than you need. Because they portion it off, you get no waste.
That's a good
there's
thing.
no commitment, so HelloFresh is a rolling weekly meal kit delivery service with no minimum term of contract. You can choose what goes in your box and when you want it, and they'll deliver fresh ingredients to your door. And if you want to skip a week or cancel, change anything, or you say you don't like that particular meal that you send, you can change it up. So,
you get the choices.
HelloFresh is available in other parts of the world, but this is a UK only offer. But
getting there quick.
Obviously, feel free to sign up if you do live in other parts of the world, and you receive HelloFresh in your area.
And you might even get deals over there.
You will get a deal, I'm sure
somewhere
of
along
it.
the line.
I'm sure of it because this is the type of people they are, aren't they? Really,
Well,
they just like giving you an offer.
We keep throwing out deals for them.
It's like when you want to give, it's like trying to make people healthier by offering them fruit and veg.
Good proportions as well.
All right, there you go. And my song will be released.
In all good
in all good record shops. Right, so getting on with the show. So we've talked about people going missing in hotel rooms.
Before.
And like I say, this episode we're going to be talking about a French mystery. The Vanishing Hotel room, also known as the Vanishing Leader, it's an urban legend which claims that during a global expedition, there was a British woman and her mother.
Yeah, that's right.
They basically got to Paris, and the daughter had basically booked into a hotel with the mother because the mother wasn't feeling too well.
Yeah, this was 1889.
So the mother, they get the doctor in because the mother's taking a turn for the worst, and the doctor's come. Good. The hotel managers got involved. Everyone's kind of like, really worried about what's happening, in the hotel. The doctor has basically turned around to the daughter and said, she's super sick. We need to get her we need to get the medicine. Yeah.
Quick.
It's like, oh, this isn't the right type of medicine. We need to go way across town. So he says, like, way across town to get the medicine that they need, yeah. So she's gone with him, to collect the medicine. Don't know why she didn't just say, you go, doctor, I'll stay at my mother's bedside.
He's not lucky. He's a doctor, man.
Right. Now, I had a theory. We'll go into my theory in a minute. But, like, my theory kind of does fall apart a little. Considering,
okay.
Yeah, well, it depends whether the doctor returns to the hotel with her or not. Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But she fetches the medicine and returns back to the hotel.
After a short time,
After a short time to find when it questions the hotel lobby desk and says, where's, I'm looking for my mother. I've got a medicine here. I need to kind of get to her quick because, she's really in a poorly way.
Yeah.
They just looked at her like blankly, like they didn't have a fucking clue what she was talking about, and she was causing a scene and a disturbance within the hotel.
Yeah,
because she's getting panicked now, bit vexed
yeah.
because she's like, no, I know I booked in this hotel.
Yeah,
I know my mother's here.
Yeah,
yeah. So you best take me to the room because I need to see her quick. She needs this medicine, right?
Yeah, damn right, man.
So they've taken her up to where she thinks the room is. Yeah. And she walks in to find that the room has got totally different decor. It's got, other people's belongings and other people's luggage in there.
Oh, naughty.
Yeah. It was decorated in a way that just did not resemble the same room at all.
Yeah.
Right. So she's been kind of like... She's stupefied by it. She doesn't know what's going on. She's basically called the authorities, and she's ended up at the British Embassy.
Yeah.
Telling them that her mother's been basically disappeared. She was in the hotel, and then now she's disappeared. Yeah. So she's where's she gone? So like an investigation starts up. I assume.
Yeah.
And nothing's ever discovered. So basically, she rants and raves about it so much that she eventually gets put in an institution for, like, for being kind of crazy.
Not house till the day she died.
Now, this is an interesting story because according to the legend, she was travelling, a lot. You said it was in the late 1800s, I suppose.
1890.
Right. So when was the Black Death and Plague prevalent around?
Well, you got the plague.
Because that's what they said that she thought. The hotel staff said they thought she had that.
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah.
If you think about it, would the hotel want somebody staying in their hotel who potentially could have the plague?
Yeah, it's not good for business, is it, really?
Well, no, it's not, right?
And the plague come in stages. We had the... I can't even remember the year. And you know what? I did a full bloody year on it as well. But the plague is still here to this day. But there was little outbreaks, and some more, certain people are more variant to it than others, so they're easily to catch. So then she didn't look well. She didn't, obviously...
Yeah, I know, but it's a bit extreme, isn't it? Why not just kick her out the hotel there and then and just say, look, I'm sorry. Yeah, we'd love to be able to help you, but...
Customers would love to hear you turn around and kick them out if they were
too ill. Yeah. And we recommend that you take her to a hospital, right?
Yeah.
Now, that's fair enough. I mean, if you're a hotel manager and you've got a dying person in your hotel, what's the best place for him? It's not just keeping him in a room and waiting for the doctor. It's we're going to have to send for somebody to collect her and take her to a hospital.
Yeah.
Right? So wouldn't you think that would have been the best course of action?
Well, the doctor had already turned up.
Because what I'm getting from this story is that she's returned back to the hotel, and it's the hotel staff that have covered this up.
Yeah.
That they've redecorated the room somehow in this short space of time.
Yeah.
Now, the doctor, when he was in the office, because he said, this medicine that I need, it's at the office.
Yeah.
You know, he apparently took a while trying to find it. Yeah.
And he must have known the area.
He needed to make it like, a pharmacist might need to make tablets up or a medicine up. It's the 1800s. He's not just going to have boxes of fucking, pseudocreme or tablets on the side, is he?
Yeah, and
He's
a lot
gonna
of it was experimental on it as well.
Yeah, exactly, right? So you've got a doctor who's being really kind of time waster in a time critical situation, right? You've got hotel staff who are dab hand at DIY and are very good at changing rooms, right? Yeah. So like they get Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen in to do a fucking quick makeover in the fucking house, right? In the room. Yeah. Change the bedding, throw some other suitcases in there. It's like
cushions.
It's like it's the details. The devil is in the details. It's like, wait a minute, that's her brush. Get rid of that. And it's like,
and not only that, next door, they could have easily swapped it through next door. Just right? Or the furniture from next door into that room.
It's as simple as changing the numbers on the door.
Give it a little paint as they're going by.
It's like that in them old movies where they flick the 9 up and it was a 6 or whatever. And it's like, nah, it's the wrong room. Yeah. Well, this is the thing. She's claimed that she was in this hotel and this was her room. Yeah. But when she went up there, like say the decor's changed, there's no sign of a mother anywhere.
No.
Now, my theory is she was just a daft bird who got the wrong hotel.
You reckon?
Potentially.
Well, potentially that's how they've put it now, if you think about it, because she's died in a nut.
Well, I know she's claimed that she lost a mother. Yeah, right? Which is, if anybody was tracking her adventures,
it would be looking at passports. They'd be looking at
passports where they'd been, who she was with. So there'd be technically a red tape, of her travelling with her mother. She couldn't deny that she was with her mother because there's evidence to suggest she was travelling with her. Yeah, right. That's true. The point where it stops is her getting off the boat in Paris, going to the hotel and booking in. Yeah, but it was booked in the daughter's name. Yeah. Yeah, but when she turns up at the hotel after collecting the medicine, there's no record of her ever checking in. Right? Yeah. There's no evidence of her checking in, no evidence of her mother, and there's no evidence of the room that she says that she stayed in. Right?
Could she be a time traveller?
Could she be in the wrong hotel?
Possibly.
Maybe time travel. Yeah.
It's possible on the kind of time travel wormhole kind of effect, or,
So what, she arrived back at the hotel at a different point in time where it was a different, like, they'd done a different decorating job and a decade earlier or a decade later or something. I don't know.
Because I got a story later on where something like that happened.
Well, it's interesting to think about because, obviously you've got to look at every option. See which one's the most likely.
But why are they going to do? Why are they going to?
Now, my theory there. With her maybe getting the wrong hotel. Yeah. Now you'd still have red tape in the fact that whatever hotel the mother was in originally, maybe she just died in that hotel and the daughter never. They kicked her out, put her in the sent the mortician to collect her because the daughter never came back.
And it's not good for business.
Well, obviously, yeah.
But then, can you trust? Can you trust your staff? I don't think a lot of companies would be able to trust their staff to do something as vile as that. To just throw something out, or even bury him in the backyard.
There's what was it called? That hotel.
COI.
It's the we've talked about it before.
Talked about it before,
hang on, I've got it here actually.
But it just makes me think that like very trusting if that kind of stuff happened. Very trusting with the people who actually done it or working there. And then you've got guests who they must think like, there was a bit of fuss when she went, and then all of a sudden this room got changed. There was a lot of fuss on this landing. Maybe even just the police were just stupid and didn't realise, they must have thought, she was probably, a bit off her head. And like, why should we trust the information that she's actually giving us?
It was a Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles,
right,
California. So we covered it with the Elisa Lam episode way back when we first started. That was obviously a disappearance of a Canadian college student who went missing back in 2013, 3 weeks after going missing. The hotel maintenance found her in the water tank on the roof of the hotel. With mysterious circumstances. There's been so many people discuss this mystery. We did it, like, say, I think episode 2 or 3 when we first started the podcast. If you want to go back, it's really bad because we just started terrible recordings.
Well, it was a good story.
But it's a great story, and obviously all the
information
information's still there. So, you know. But it's... some interesting CCTV footage attached to that story as well.
That's true,
but the Cecil Hotel was notorious for people going missing in the hotel and suicides, people jumping from the rooftop.
And
it's
a bad destination.
It's an interesting one. That I think they even did a Netflix documentary about the hotel.
It's a bit kind of Ghostbusty.
Tower of Terror.
Yeah,
what
what I mean? You know, like that's the tower that was deliberately made. Oh,
made by fucking Shenzhou Mining or Shenzhou Architecture, and it's like that's the conductor.
If you like, for evil. Opening anyone portals. Who lives there, like, you know, gets it eventually.
Yeah, well, they say.
I bet there's some fucking stories there, though.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, hotels. They're weird places, but I mean, most people they enjoy staying in hotels, but a lot of the time they're pretty solitary places where you're just in there on your own. They've got a lot of kind of
it's more computerized now.
There's a lot more kind of because the short stay places as well.
Yeah.
If you think about, like, you know, I've said this about when you move into a property and you're like a part of that property's story.
Yeah, of course.
You're a chapter in the building's history, if you like, as a tenant. And, you know, hotels, they magnify that because you're there for a brief period of time and you know, the chapters are short.
A lot of energy in there,
if you like, because it's rather... really positive, highly sex charged.
You
know, like
charged,
fucking incidences or angry incidences. Stress and all the rest of it. But it's also magnified in the sense that you've got you know, short stays. So rather than being a history, say if you, like I was saying about, say if your property's history's a book, and you're a chapter or 2-3 chapters in a book as a tenant in a property, whereas that book in a hotel's life, the chapters are very short. Like, say, that magnifies that energy, I suppose, and then you've also got all them different energies. It's mental. But, but the thing about hotels is they also seem to be very good murder places, or, like, you know, like to say very good, but I mean,
I was going to say,
people seem to end up getting murdered in them quite often and not.
Yeah. Well, yeah. True,
hotels don't want that reputation, and if
not.
I mean, getting the plague in a hotel and dying is that going to ruin your reputation? Are you going to think?
Well, everyone's going to have to go
I don't want anybody. You know, knowing that we've had plague victims here and someone's died of the plague in the hotel.
It'd be like part of China.
But I mean, what's happened recently within the the world where hotels have opened up for people travelling in quarantine zones and all the rest of it.
They even let people on the streets. A lot of the time, the government paid for hotels.
Well, I was going to say they didn't let them, did they? They still got paid to house people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it doesn't matter if they're on the streets or not. But I mean,
but half the time, or at least a quarter of the time, is not necessarily the people's fault. It's the actual way the government system is worked.
Oh, no, don't take that the wrong way in the sense that, I mean, like, they should fucking house homeless people anyway. But what I'm saying is, it wasn't a generous deed from the hotels saying, oh, we're going to put up homeless people because of COVID. Yeah. It was a sense that the government had said, if you take in homeless people with COVID, we'll pay you this. And that's an incentive for them to go, okay, we'll do that. Yeah. You know what I mean? And especially at a time in history when the hospitality industry was on its knees, and it's like, well, where else are we going to rent our rooms? Because no one's traveling. So it's rather take this government subsidy and let all these people stay on quarantine, or
lose the business basically at the end of the day.
I mean,
business.
You said you had a couple of stories related to this hotel, missing people. What have you got?
Yeah, sort of. I got one about they're called the Simpsons, and basically there was like 4 of them, and they were doing traveling through France to go to Spain, but then they had to stop to get into a hotel, and they found this hotel and it was busy, it was full up, and they someone there suggested that there was a nice hotel down the road. So they got the directions, they followed it down there, and they saw this first place, and then they thought it was a hotel. It wasn't, it was an inn, and they said no, the hotel's down the road. So it's nice like old
sounds like
structure.
the beginning of a Psycho movie.
Well, yeah, that's what I first thought. So then they come across down this
They come across the Bates
lane.
Motel. Yeah, down some country lane there, and it's Norman Bates is stood there with his shovel.
No, but there was some weird things that made him clock the hotel much.
The lightning bolts that were hitting the tower on the main house. Did that not put them off?
No, it didn't. No, they love that kind of stuff. There was circus
it was like,
pictures.
ooh, this is right, we're goths.
Yeah,
this is right up our street.
Like
This.
massive circus pictures and stuff like that hanging around. So
that sounds pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
That does actually sound pretty cool.
So it was like they were interested. And there was a police station next door, so they knocked on the door.
So they thought, police station next door.
Yeah, safe as houses.
Safe
isn't it?
as houses.
Yeah. We've even got like a circus coming through. So they went in there.
Depends if you've got a clownophobia or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're scared of clowns. You know what I mean? That is a nightmare. If you're staying in a hotel and suddenly a circus pulls up next to you.
Well, yeah, you will have a little bit on stain afterwards, I would imagine. Especially if you hate clowns. So they got in there, and there was like very antique stuff and like very old and stuff like. So they got showed to the room. They had no locks on the doors and stuff like that. And then when the gentleman come down in the morning, one of them, and was paying the bill, it was like, whoa, that's really cheap. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm coming here again. So then,
because no fucker wants to stay there. That's why.
Yeah.
It's like because he murders them all.
Yeah,
it's like incentive to stay because it's like fucking 25p a night.
Well, you wouldn't want to murder him at that time because 2 police officers decided
at least
to
get a
walk
couple
in.
of nights out of them.
Well, yeah. They only needed to stay the night, and then they needed directions to get to the Spanish border. So these police officers were in a strange kind of like blue
French
outfit.
clowns and all.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, worst.
They're the worst.
Yeah, worst.
Mimes.
Yeah. Oh, fucking mimes.
Right, carry on anyway, sorry.
So then they left the place, and they thought it was a nice little quaint place, and carried on with their journey for another 2 weeks. And on the way back, they thought, well, we'll have a little trip in there.
So this was France again, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm starting to think there was a serial
France
killer
is
going around France.
Yeah. Building up bloody hotels and then...
Yeah, going at the hotel killer.
Yeah, well, I bet there's a few out there.
Probably.
So they tried to find a place. They could not find the place at all. So then they went to the first hotel where they got directions. They asked the manager there about an employee that worked there who showed them directions. That person doesn't exist there.
So what? It was just some random...
It was like...
Was it a ghost?
Well, this is the thing, because they took photos actually when they were there.
With the guy arm round, there's nothing.
Yeah,
there.
well, they tried to take photos.
That's like, that photo of Jack Torrance from The Shining. Do you know? It's like, it's like, they were talking to the barman or whatever, and it was like there was no barman there.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what it was like?
No, because the photos didn't actually develop. When they had to look at the photos, they had it professionally looked at, and they had tried to take the photo. The photo tried to make a print, but it couldn't print. It just couldn't print anything, so there was no even evidence.
Too overexposed, so it was like white images, like too bright images, or like dark images, or what was
the way they
coming out on
explain is that it had the mark of it actually taking it, but it didn't actually take anything. picture of anything.
Right,
It had the
okay,
mark to
okay,
suggest that it
all
had
right
been
then.
hit.
So there was no. So it had all suggested that the camera had done what it's supposed to do, but
Yeah, but didn't actually take
because I
the
mean,
photo.
a lot of the
yeah.
time back then, all your camera
this is
settings were
halfway.
manual, so it was like
Well,
whether
yeah.
they'd set the camera up correctly or not. But I mean,
Well,
that's down to their.
The first couple of photos that they've already taken throughout the trip
A
had
suite,
worked.
yeah,
It was
right,
just
okay.
these were in the middle and they didn't actually work at all. So yeah, they tried to find this hotel and that, and it seemed, and the police officers were dressed in 1905 outfits.
So they weren't even like local, like
Nah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean.
it's-
And
that's
it's
what I mean
like
about the time travel
we'll
thing
try
kind
and
of
find
thing.
this hotel for you.
Yeah.
And it's like they go and try and find it. We don't know any hotels around
Yeah.
here, my dear.
Yeah, don't dress like this. What
Yeah,
the fuck?
like well, I'm giving him a Cornish fucking West Country accent, but
Oh,
you know the
aye.
French.
Oh, aye.
Yeah. Oui, mademoiselle.
Oui,
There is
bonjour.
no
British piss off.
hotel around here. You piss off
Yeah,
British
you go piss off at the
tourists. yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
so.
They love us over there.
So they've tried to explain that there isn't a hotel. I said, just suppose.
Yeah, and there's no evidence apart from the 4 people who actually went and
What
took
is it
this
with
night
hotels
out.
disappearing?
Yeah, I know, but I've heard of, like, even in Britain, I've heard of a village where people drove through this area, and then all of a sudden there's a village there, and it's never been there before, so they've, parked up, bed
Had
and
a look
breakfast,
round,
stayed there the night, everything's all cosy,
So what
and then
that
leave
could
and
be
never find it
wormholes,
again.
that we've talked about this sort of stuff before.
Yeah.
I found this story. It's hotel adjacent.
Adjacent.
Yeah, well, no, it's a hotel related story, but it's missing. I mean, not going missing as such,
Okay.
but being murdered.
Oh, right, okay.
So in September
Sinister.
1980,
Nice.
Rose Burkett and Roger Atkinson stayed at the Alabama Holiday Inn near Williamsburg in Iowa.
All right.
The couple got the last room in the hotel
Oh,
due
lucky
to a
buggers.
cancellation.
Oh.
Right, so I think that's very important information.
Yes,
Right, for this story.
With you that.
The next morning, housekeepers found the couple murdered, and there were some strange facts. There was evidence that the killer put their feet up on the desk and carved a piece of soap.
What?
So I wonder what he carved into the soap.
His penis?
A dick. Yeah. That. Do you know what? That would not be surprising.
It wouldn't surprise
Or did he
me.
carve a little animal of some description, or a chess piece, or what? That's a bit of a. I don't know
yeah.
where do people carve soap usually? I mean, if you're a carpenter or a kind of like a sculptor, but I
Yeah,
mean, is
whittler.
soap a whittler?
Yeah.
Soap's pretty nice medium to
Yeah,
work with,
easy
really,
to
isn't it?
use,
It's easy to
yeah,
carve.
really.
But yeah, whatever they did, they carved a piece of soap. The murderer also left one word on the bathroom mirror.
All right. What was that?
It was this. The word
what,
this.
What was it?
This.
What?
The word this.
What was this? Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Making things even creepier, there was a mortician convention in the hotel.
Oh my.
Well,
God.
so it was a convention in town. It would have been better if it was in the hotel.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, I reckon there was probably
must
morticians from the convention
Yeah.
staying at the hotel.
Gotta be.
There's got to have been.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With
because
the
I
odd
mean, if
serial
you've got
killer.
a convention in town, mate, all the hotels in the area are taken up usually.
That's
and
true.
they'd be all like, "Oh, we can't take any more bookings due to the big mortician convention in town."
Too many bodies in here.
Yeah, it's like we've got too many bodies, as is. So it's like
Bit
we've
dead in
already
here.
we've. Hang on,
Ding, ding.
I've kind of forgot which button it is. Anyway, so yeah, that's creepy in itself.
Yeah,
Makes
that's
me
true.
think it was
Yeah.
like. They're trying to work. They're like, right, we've got a new technique for this, that, and the other. And it's like, wow, it's a shame we haven't got any cadavers knocking around to demonstrate on. It's like, oh, you give me 10 minutes.
Yeah,
I'll sort some out.
Yeah.
And they've
got
gone
the
back.
odd serial killer there.
But yeah, but
Using
like
all
there
that
was
shit.
a lot of morticians chilling in the. So what you need to find is a whittling mortician. Like yeah.
Who could do an autopsy?
So
Hey, if you could all join in and do an autopsy.
But yeah, so there were many attendees staying at the inn apparently, yeah. So
it was
after the
busy.
death, rumours circulated about a possible killer, one that Roger's uncle was a serial killer apparently as well, and he'd been escaped from a mental institution.
Oh,
but
so if you're around.
made me think, because it was a late booking,
Yeah. That was
that it wasn't meant for them.
them.
Maybe it was somebody else who was supposed to be staying at the hotel.
Yeah,
Maybe
totally
there's a
agree.
hit on him. Maybe it seemed a bit kind of like why were they so important? I mean, there was no sort of connecting story to say why they were in that hotel.
But that's the best way then, because it could have been someone who was setting them up, who knew that they were going to be in that area at that time, and they cancelled to make sure that they had that room. So then,
it's a bit of a coincidence, though, because anybody could have come off the street and said, "I want a room."
Yeah, but he was busy as fuck. And if
with
there's
the
only
mortician convention,
yeah. So then, if you've got that room, you could go right. I know
really
they're
interested
here.
in this mortician convention. I mean, what sort of stuff do you reckon they talk about?
Oh, cadavers.
Did he have like stalls out, like with
burger flipping and shit?
Fucking hell, yeah, how to process meat?
Yeah,
it's like check the good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
how
getting
much
some
this
of the
vein
good
costs?
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
how
nice.
to take this and
it's like, do you know that fact that
back.
everyone says in pubs about your arteries if you spread them out?
Yeah, around the world too.
That's what they were doing, weren't they?
Yeah, they were experimenting on each other.
Have you found any more stories out around about? Do you know what I loved about? There was actually a show, sci-fi show. It was a mini-series. I mean, I think Steven Spielberg might have had something to do with it, but I can't be 100% sure on that one.
It's something get into.
It was called The Lost Room.
Yeah.
And it was really good, actually. It was kind of like a detective show, but there was a sci-fi element of this hotel room, a motel room that vanished.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And there was an occupant in there when it vanished, and all of his possessions become magical but get spread out all over the place, and he has to find them all to try and do something or other. But it was really good. It was like 2006, I think. Interesting show. That was time ago. I met some, but
then again, I haven't broken bad.
22-year-olds now were born in 2000. That's their date of birth. You know what I mean? That's I can't fathom that. It's so weird to think about.
Make me feel
what was
old.
I doing in 2000? It's like I feel like I was probably an adult, or kind of there. Nearly.
Yeah, you were nearly an adult. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of different stories. I mean, we talked, like I said, about the Elisa Lam, but I mean, was there anything about that kind of made you think was? Because I mean,
still a weird one, isn't it? Really?
Oh yeah, because it was never
still
kind of worked
case,
out.
Yeah.
It does seem to me that it's the one connecting factor between all these cases is the hotel staff. And I mean, I don't want to kind of be pointing fingers at anyone.
Yeah, you don't want to be pointing at them.
But that's the only connecting thing between all of these cases is the staff. You know what I mean? There's some staff that in that hotel that must have known or seen something. Do you
Not
know?
necessarily, because you could be like a customer and you're next door to the victim.
Well, no, because all you've got to say, it's potentially like
another
person who's staying
long-termer.
Maybe
long-term and a couple of mystery people going missing. Now, but there's loads of people all the way through the year.
It just makes me think that, like, where did they go? I mean, like, where were the kind of? I mean, the story we opened with
aliens
about the woman and her mother. Yeah, that makes me think. What would they gain from trying to hold the mother away from them? Why wouldn't they give up the body and just say she died? They knew she was sick.
But it was easier to murder people back then.
I know, but for what purpose?
Well, if they
knew she was sick and that she was on a death's door anyway, why not just let her die and then just explain to the woman she died while you were away getting the medicine? Here's a body, take her away, please. Yeah, why did they not send her to the hospital? Why? What?
Because hospitals weren't as.
I understand what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
They're not as kind of privy to just everybody back in those days, but. Yeah. The point being is there was a number of options open to these people, right?
That's right.
That's what makes me think the most logical outcome for that was that she's just simply got the wrong hotel.
Just the wrong hotel? Well, then think, where's the mother?
Well, the mother's, like I said, in another hotel, the original hotel she was put in and died there, and with no...
Yeah, but then you need a
nobody
mortician
to come and
to have a
collect
look.
or anything like that. Then she's kind of like, I don't know.
They'd have to tell the mortician. The police would have to get involved.
What do you
They'd write a
guys
report
think?
It's
an interesting one.
He died of whatever, and
I know, but so then that's why I asked him whether the doctor returned with her after getting the medicine, because that's two people. Two people can't get the wrong hotel.
Well,
they could.
That's
but,
true. Why
like,
didn't they go back to the doctor?
I don't know. We might have.
Doctor disappeared. He was a part of the imagination.
This whole kind of concept has sparked a lot of kind of spin-off stories, urban legends.
It has
So
indeed.
there is quite a few variations of the tale of the Vanishing Hotel room.
There's quite
Popular culture. The story inspired several novels.
Yeah.
The End of Her Honeymoon by
it?
Mary Baroque Loudrens in 1913
I knew she was going to
was
get
one. She Who Wore Helena's Cass by Lawrence Rising in 1920.
Told her not to do it.
The Vanishing of Mrs. Fraser by Basil Thomas in 1925.
Yeah, she went off the cliff.
Yeah, it also loads more.
Yeah,
but
there's
like
loads of
there
jobs.
was The Vanishing Leader, which was a movie.
Never
The
come back.
Midnight Warning, which we watched.
Yeah, we did watch it. Yeah, and
How
it
was-
was.
What was he called? Steve.
Yeah,
Steve.
Steve.
Steve basically got shot with no
Nose,
bullet.
was it? Yeah.
He was like, I believe you've been shot, and he was
Yeah.
like, I ain't hear nothing. I didn't hear no
Nothing.
bullet or anything.
But
yeah.
go and check my fireplace. You might find a drum in there.
Yeah, if you find like, well, this is the thing because it was adapted into a mystery.
Yeah.
For that movie, like,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh, he's found an ear bone in the fire.
Yeah.
and then there was still a lot of dodgy shit going on, but like those movies back in the day, they're very kind of like plays, and
Yeah,
they do try,
yeah.
trying to work out what's going on.
Yeah.
It's they're.
Yeah, you
It's
can
like,
be a
who's
bit.
he? What's he doing? Why is he there? Is he a police officer? It wasn't,
Yeah,
the movies, you
we
can
had
tell it
to-
was quite an old movie anyway.
Yeah.
But obviously, like I say, there's multiple variations of the Vanishing Hotel room story. The story's usually set in Paris, France.
Yeah.
During
That's
an
where the
expedition
original-
and all the rest of it, back in 1889.
Might
or
be even an older
1900.
one. Yeah, they might even be
Um,
older ones that's followed the trend.
Yeah. might
Because if
have.
you think about it, like Dick Turpin's time, bang, stagecoaches, people go missing,
Oh,
jewelry
yes.
goes missing,
My jewellery is missing,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
my bonnet.
and my wife. What the
Yeah.
hell's going on here?
You've stolen my horses
Yeah.
and my carriage.
How
Yeah.
very dare you?
Well, yeah, I mean, like I say, it's come up in many, many different forms, and it's one of those
It seems to be
concepts that they
France
do
to be
kind of
watching
keep
out.
on, like changing it up
Yeah.
and trying to work it into modern day.
Just watch yourself
And,
when you're in
all
France.
types of urban legends.
Yeah.
So, if you've got any kind of take on this, if you've got
Yeah.
any comments or
Or any more
questions,
history on it that you actually know that not a lot of people
yeah.
do.
or if you know any interest in going missing in hotel rooms.
Yeah.
I
Have you
mean-
gone missing in a hotel room?
Well, there was quite a few of them, and I mean, obviously, one of the big ones that came up was Madeleine McCann.
yeah.
That is a show in itself.
Yeah.
So we might do
Yeah.
that one at a later date, but
Yeah.
I
Let's
think
wait
it's
till
one of
things
them
settle
that
down first.
everybody does know about, so it's not
Yeah.
worth doing.
Well,
the
yeah, and
outline-
there's a
doing
lot
the
of different
highlights.
information, and there's a lot of different kinds of information at the beginning to what's been come out now to what has been said in between.
Yes, yeah. So it might be worth saying where are we up to with that now? Actually, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Yeah.
it was in the media quite a lot, but then obviously you don't hear so much.
That's true. I think case is nearly closed, isn't it? Really, I think.
Well, that's when they say
Charged.
how long does it take before a case does go cold? Because obviously these cases we were talking about tonight are all cold cases.
Yeah.
The Vanishing Woman.
Yeah.
It's been cold for quite a long time now, 100 years.
Yeah. Over 100 years
So
now.
how
Yeah.
long before that Madeleine McCann does go cold case?
Well, yeah. Well, I think they've got this guy for it, and I think they're
because
just
they
that's
said
going
they
to be
found
it.
a German guy,
Yeah.
wasn't it, who was living out there.
There was some videos and stuff,
People
yeah,
were a bit
yeah.
wary of him, but he kept himself to himself.
Yeah, but to me, it doesn't add up with certain things.
Well,
like
we might
photos
be
and
looking
that.
into this in
Yeah.
the future. Let
Yeah.
us know if that's the sort of episode you'd like to hear.
Yeah, if you want to hear it, then
Drop us a
we
message.
will do it.
Ah, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah, Cindy.
Well, moving on. I do believe,
I do.
I do declare, I believe that we do have a promo.
I do believe so.
We have a promo.
We do have a promo.
Is this your promo? We'll play a promo.
promo?
Hey everyone, I'm Laura.
And I'm Jill.
And we are the hosts of Crime Divers Podcast. We are Scottish sisters who tell each other true crime cases that other hasn't heard of.
New episodes are released every Tuesday, and you can find us on your favourite podcast platform.
So what are you waiting for? Grab your wetsuit and join us as we dive into the world of true crime.
But remember, watch out for those sharks.
Well, thank you for sending in your promo, and you can do the same
you.
if you want to get involved and get your promo on the show. You can send it to neverstraightanswer@gmail.com. And we'll feature you on the show.
We will.
Not only that, you get you on the website on the front page featured section.
Oh, you
it's
are
all good.
So special.
Special indeed.
Yeah.
Incidentally, I found out another interesting fact about that movie. The Midnight Warning.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was released in 1932.
Oh, a long time ago.
Yeah, The Midnight Warning. It's an American mystery film directed by Spencer Gordon Bennett. Yeah. So I was like, is Gordon Bennett, why is Spencer Gordon Bennett the reason why we say Gordon Bennett?
Yes.
well, actually, he actually kind of isn't, right? Because although it should be, because
it's a mystery.
He did actually release, he's actually known for releasing the most film series at the time.
That's a big mystery.
Right?
Yeah.
So, you'd think, bloody hell, Gordon Bennett. How many movies you putting out, Gordon? Spencer. You know what I mean? But no, it's not. The actual reason, the short version is Gordon Bennett is an expression that alludes to outrageous behaviour, and it comes from the American sportsman, publisher, and all-round hellraiser James Gordon Bennett Jr. Apparently. There you go.
See, you learn something new every day.
Something new every day. Always at school.
Oh, well.
Always at school with us.
Yeah.
We need to go back to school.
Yeah.
Well,
good
like
times,
I say,
man. Good times.
Good times. Good times. They'll tell you best times of your life. Best times of your life. No one expected nothing off you.
You tell
apart from
kids
your
and they'll be
homework.
like, fuck off.
Get beaten up and pocket money stolen. All that stuff. Oh, it's good times. Good times.
It is. You learn, don't you?
Yeah, you're always learning, like I say. Anyway, right. So I think we've got some news, haven't we?
I think so.
It's the topical week events that we like to call the news.
Yeah.
And here we go. We're going large.
We're going on with it.
It's the news. Oh yeah,
it's a big boom of news.
It's a big ball of news.
It is.
And we've scoured the World Wide Web to make sure that we've found plenty of news stories that'll tickle your taste buds.
5 minutes.
And to be honest, we're going to start with one that I just found amazing.
Yeah.
This is a story of a woman who charges $10,000 per client to do. She offers a very interesting service.
Oh, what?
I think it's a bit of a redundant service, if you ask me. It's a bit of a pointless service. But she's a professional baby namer.
You fucking what?
Yeah, you tell
me what?
Well, she says that she charges up to 10 grand per client to help them pick a name for their child. Is there some really uninspired
Stupid rich
people who can't choose their own baby's
I'm too
name?
busy at work that I can't think of
Oh
my baby's
my
name.
God. If I found out my mother and father had have got a professional baby namer in to name her, I'd just be like, when you couldn't,
you just get a hat, it'd be
name,
cheaper.
Yeah, get a hat and just
Right,
pick one
your
out
names,
of a fucking hat.
Yeah, get a booklet and just go, put
Well,
pen
she's a
on
recent NYU graduate. She
fucking summit.
well, she was in the New Yorker, where she was talking about the rates she charged to clients depending on their needs. Services range from a consultation phone call, which a bit of researching on baby names, and geographical research based on the client and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So she says she charges in a range of $1,500 to $10,000 per client.
They've seen her coming. Does she wear a mask and have a swag bag?
Recently, she said she had a couple.
Yeah.
And she found that she chose the name Parks.
That cost them 20 grand.
Probably about 25 grand, right? And which was chosen because their first kiss was in a town called Parkers. Yeah, Parker.
Oh.
Right? Wouldn't you think Parker's a better name than Parks?
Yeah.
Yeah. additionally, she said that
What do you call
there was
your
a
child,
couple that hired her because they were running out of names. Yeah, whilst they were expecting their third or fourth child. Wait a minute. There's a well of names,
and they've already gone through probably half of them
and
already.
you've got 3 that you can kind of like jib on to the end of. Found something that kind of works well
Charlie,
when you're shouting them all in for the dinner.
Yeah,
you need a so and so. You get
little
ring
bastard,
names
come here.
or matching names. If you like.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like the
Julie, John, Jim, and Jacob all come in. You know, there's 4.
Yeah,
I didn't charge no one nothing.
No, you could have charged 10 grand for that
each.
Yeah,
that's,
that's 40 grand just slips out of your fucking hands there, son.
I missed out.
See,
but
we're gonna have to start up a new profession, you know.
I could, if you want your baby naming by me and Taylor.
Yes.
We won't even charge you 10 grand. Just go over to Patreon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we will come up with a space themed name for you.
Yes. We will pick 5 apiece, and then you can.
And you
pick.
can choose. Yeah. So, but that's only for top tier Patreon. People.
Yeah.
I think that's well worth it. If,
we're
saving you. Yeah.
Shit
and
loads.
Don't worry, because we're not going to come up with no fucking stupid names like apple or pineapple, banana. You know what I mean? None of that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You can put your trust in us. Don't worry.
We'll
If she's making 10 grand a pop, mate, you leave it with us.
Yeah. We'll whip it out.
Have you seen anything in the news?
I have. There's a strange thing that people are going to start seeing soon, which is lightning going up.
Ooh, I've seen this.
Yes.
Actually, this does happen in nature, but why are we going to see more of it?
Because it's to do with our magnetic shield, which is coming in.
Shields up, Captain.
Yeah, he's.
Have we not got the dilithium crystals? Is that what you're saying?
No, we ain't got the power.
Out. We ain't got the
power,
power,
Captain.
Captain.
At the minute.
She's just not got the power.
One of the effects, which is good for the greenhouse as well. But expect to see more of them.
That's quite exciting.
I mean,
some epic photography I can imagine as well, imminent from that. Because obviously, lightning's pretty epic to see. Do you know what? Actually, if you're searching on YouTube and you're bored for something to search on YouTube, search lightning strikes, right? Yeah, and you'll find compilation videos of lightning strikes. Oh my God, you'd be surprised how many lightning strikes are actually captured on video.
There's one place, I think it's South America, and it was lightning constantly, which is like I said, which is a good thing, because that lightning there alone helps with the ozone and the greenhouse.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So we have to have it, but we're going to just see it upside down a bit.
Upside down lightning. There you go. Well, you heard it here first.
You did.
Do you know self-driving cars?
Oh.
I wonder how they'd react if they were struck by lightning. Because a regular car, they say that you're safe in a car,
that's true,
because of the rubber tires.
Yeah.
But if you're in a self-driving car, I can imagine.
There's more
works heavily on the electrics, and
that's a good
so if it's struck by lightning, I mean, it's going to fry all your electrics and your onboard computer, I should imagine. Even though the tires will save you, the car itself will be fucked. But if you're not driving it,
and you.
Oh, that's is that an accident waiting to happen? Ever just I'm hoping that these guys have thought of this.
How can you drive a car if you're not in the passenger seat? I suppose weren't there actual safety features in there that you've actually got to be awake and still conscious while you're driving the car?
They needed to be someone in the car for the car to drive anyway, right? But I found this story, and this is a story about police who was stumped and confounded after a self-driving car got pulled over, only to find that there was nobody in it. Car's gone out sentient.
No kid in the back seat.
Nothing.
No.
Yeah, the car's gone out driving on its own. Like, beep, beep.
Where's it going?
Goes bananas.
It's going to get some electric. I'll be back in a minute.
It's fucking feeling a bit peckish.
Yeah.
Well, the first words from many police officers are using when they pull vehicles over, and we appreciate, the cooperation or whatever. But there was nobody in the car to reprimand for one. So,
hold on then. So someone's got to get a ticket for that.
Well,
now who gets the ticket?
I don't know. The owner of the car, I suppose. But
imagine.
The video has gone viral, showing a San Francisco police officer saying that, is there anybody in there, to a vehicle that was a self-driving car?
See, now these are the issues that are going to start coming up pretty soon. Well, obviously, there's going to be more and more of that.
I would have assumed that even though it's a self-driving car, you're not allowed to be intoxicated whilst, like, you know, you're still in fucking charge of a vehicle, really, aren't
it's
you?
a lethal weapon at the
And
end of the day.
I mean, all the sensors that you've got on it. I mean, how can you
can only
stop
do
someone
so
jumping
much.
in front of it or whatever? I don't know.
And sensors do break.
Yes, so you know, there's plenty of weird goings on with self-driving cars, but I mean, the fact that it was driving about on its own makes me think,
I don't like it.
This is Herbert.
Yeah, and you know what? You could see this coming years ago. That something like this would happen.
You know what I mean? First, say you've got cars driving around on their own, and then what next?
Well,
Killer robots, flying airplanes,
drones.
fucking.
Then we're talking Terminator. You know what I mean? We're talking shit goes bad.
Yes, that's when it all goes wrong.
Yeah.
And
We need to take more control of
coming out of the lava, and it's like so sad.
Yeah. It isn't.
Well,
it isn't if it turns out that way. Fucking hell.
Did you? Well, it's just, you'll never know. It's a good film. I seen this about a film, a John Malkovich film.
Yeah, good.
This is a film starring John Malkovich. He's basically, it was filmed in 2015.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know why we're only just hearing about this now, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah, but it was released in 2015, but it's not going to be seen until 2115.
What the fuck?
So 100 years. It's an experimental science fiction film written by Malkovich and directed by Robert Rodriguez.
Is it holographic?
I have no idea.
Well,
It's been dubbed the movie you will never see. Yeah, because by the time they do release it, you're gonna be dead. Unless a bootleg.
Yeah, that's what I'm
thinking. Do you
thinking.
think this is going to spill out? Someone's going to get
Someone's going to get the crack in there.
They can't even keep the fucking movies under wraps now.
That's true.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's always leaks.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and if they're saying you're going to have to wait 100 years for it.
You're having a bubble, mate.
I will be over it by then.
Yeah.
It'll be like, what movie?
Yeah.
It'll probably sit there for 200 years.
Well, it won't matter to us, will it, really? Because 100 years for...
What'll happen is
Tell our
they'll
grandkids.
release it in 100 years and they'll be like, they'll find a DVD of it and they'll be like, has anyone got a DVD player?
No.
Like, nah.
We're doing crystals this year.
We don't, what, it's on a hard drive.
What's a hard drive?
So yeah, we won't have the medium to play it. It's like that Cartman episode when he wants a Wii. No, a Nintendo Wii, not a PP.
Oh, right, okay.
Not a number ones.
Not number one.
Yeah, so he wants a Nintendo Wii, but it's like when he finally he freezes himself to try and beat the rush or beat the wait.
Yeah.
And he ends up in the future, and when he does finally get his hands on a Nintendo Wii, none of the TVs will work with it because it's in the future.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be
All
that
holographic,
situation.
mate. Yeah.
John
3D
Malkovich.
shit.
I love his work. I mean, he's such a great filmmaker, and I mean, being John Malkovich as well is just such a great film. And there's a new film, isn't there, out at the moment, which is kind of a similar vein, but it's like starring I forget his name now. Out of National Treasure.
Oh, and he playing himself.
The Barney, but no, what? Yeah, he's playing Nicolas Cage.
That's the fella.
Nick Cage.
Nick Cage.
Of course, how can you forget Nick Cage?
Well, we did.
Yeah, Nick Cage. Is playing himself in this one, so that would be an interesting. It kind of reminded me of that being John Malkovich.
Yeah.
So
well,
I like those type of films.
A lot of weird films in the last couple of years. I've been having a look at some of these films coming up, and it was like, nah, that's a bit weird. Nah, that's weird. And there has just been some strange ones. There was one about puppets that I've seen.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage says that basically, no matter what film he says, there's some that you do because you fancy it and you love the movie and the idea,
and you do
some
for
do
money.
you for the money.
Love for
basically.
money, yeah.
But no matter what, he always puts a bit of Nick Cage in. Yeah, he has one scene that he puts everything into, and you can see it in every film. He's like, that's why he's so, Nick Cage.
Yeah,
he's a genius in a lot of ways because it's like he does kind of give his roles, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
He gives it the all. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you got to take your hat off.
Yeah. I'm a fan of this anyway.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to never seeing that movie. The movie where you will never see is the tagline, You know, unfortunately, you'll never see it. I don't know why we're talking about it.
Well, yeah, you know what? I'm going on YouTube later. I'll probably see it.
Find it. Yeah, we'll go on Cody or something. It'll be on Cody. Right. Anyway, so have you seen anything newsworthy?
Yes, I have. Cheeky
us.
woman. But loving what she's doing. Loving it.
What, she's not naming babies for 10 grand a pop, is she?
No,
she's got a better racket.
No, not better the racket than that. But a woman's been living on a cruise ship for free for the last 12 years and only paying, what is it, £35 a week.
33, well, that's not free, is it, really? But, I mean, she's still paying something.
She's not paying rent, she's not paying tax.
She's just managed to live on a cruise ship.
For 12 years.
And no one said anything?
No. But she no longer can do it now because she got sacked.
It wasn't a P&O cruise ship, was it?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
It wasn't a Russian ship, was it?
Oh, it could have been, yeah.
Right, okay. Well, she was... So it kind of reminds me of that...
Clever, was it? Though.
Alan Partridge... living in a hotel. It's a hotel themed as well. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well in.
Yeah.
well in. Liking the hotel theme.
Oh yeah. So that's pretty good.
Living long term in a hotel. Have you ever done that?
After years.
I've lived in a hotel for like a week.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. It's weird. But yeah, go on. You start feeling like you're a resident.
Yeah. I bet. Yeah.
Yeah. It's strange.
But yeah, I thought
12 years is a fucking is a pretty good going.
Yeah.
I don't think I've had addresses less than that.
Yeah, and she lives on the ship basically half the year, and the rest of the time she could go travelling and doing stuff. Probably get free places
but she can't really work or anything. How she make money? I mean, how does she even pay the £30
on the ship? And saving all that money on, from not paying rent or anything like that, and just paying
is that
for,
just being a ship employee, or is she just literally a
she's done it she's as an employee, I should imagine, and I no doubt cut the wages.
Wait a minute, so what the story is you're telling me is someone worked for a cruises for 12 years?
Yeah,
I reckon there's loads of them.
Free
board. All right, okay. This is a P&O.
Good saving.
This is a P&O propaganda story.
They wish.
Come and join us. It's only £1.50 an hour. But
there's another story. They fucked up, didn't they? Because two of the ships that were supposed to be working this Easter couldn't do it.
Oh yeah, because he failed.
They failed the test.
Are they just getting failed because they're being twats with him now?
I think we should be hardcore on them now, and then tell them to fuck off and get someone else in. Because they're taking the piss, man. You know what I mean?
It's like we would have passed you, but you want to be horrible to people. My uncle worked for your company. Potentially, that's what's happening. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's like sanctions.
Yeah.
It's like what we're doing with Russia at the minute. It's like, well,
it's like taking the piss out of their own self.
If you're going to take the piss out of your staff and people's livelihoods, then don't expect when it comes to inspection time. Yeah. The people who are inspecting you are not going to be as nice as you thought they might be.
Exactly. So, you've been paid a lot of money for even sitting on your ass through the pandemic, and then you're supposed to be looking after the fucking staff, and you don't. And a lot of companies should be pulled over this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Some of them, though, when you get the authorities, it's like when they look at a case like that. But they look at a case like that, and they go, well, what they've done isn't technically illegal.
They had to do something on it.
It's like, well, it kind of opens the floodgates for other companies to do the same, and it's not a very kind of ethical way of doing business.
But there's probably companies who've already done that, and because it wasn't 800 people and no one pulled up.
It's happened to me in the past where it was just a team or a few people that's happened to, and it's like over Zoom or over Skype.
Yeah.
And of course that happens. Do you know what I mean? And I'm sure it happened to a lot of people at the end of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And the reason why it was done over Skype was, and those meetings that they didn't fail to do weren't done, was because they used the pandemic as an excuse for not doing them. Because we can't have those face-to-face meetings. We can't get in with HR. We're going to have to do it on Zoom, and it's impersonal. But it's like, it almost reminds me of that insurance company that texted everybody on the morning and just locked the doors and said we don't operate anymore, and everyone lost their jobs.
But it's getting more and more like that, because we always rely on the technology instead of actually speaking face to face.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think in a lot of ways, it's like when the authorities do a good job, you can see that they've done a good job, and it reflects in the investigation and how everything's been carried out.
Yeah.
But when the public see that they just got away with it, then, and they don't see the repercussions, then it just doesn't feel like anything's been done.
No justice, yeah,
Then
yeah.
there's been
So
no
you're
justice.
still waiting for
I
that
mean, in a
justice.
lot of ways, that we can look at what's gone on with the Partygate,
Yeah.
and you know what's happening there,
Fucking hell,
and you know,
Do you
how
reckon they should
people.
go?
Well, yeah. I mean, if they've been issued with any fixed penalties,
6
then
apiece.
I think then they definitely need to be taken a look at as leaders of the country, or even working for the leaders of the country.
Yeah.
I think that this whole thing with Ukraine's been a very good smokescreen for him, his reputation, Boris Johnson.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I think Boris Johnson's in a situation where he's kind of like quite likes it. He wants to be the bulldog of England who's kind of beat COVID and a world war.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He wants to be Winston Churchill.
Yeah,
Winston
totally.
Churchill plus.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if there was a subscription-based channel, he'd be a Winston plus.
Well, yeah, I think he sort of thinks himself in that kind of way, but he's also got a lot of. He
wants to go down as a historical prime minister, if you like. So anyway,
will be with that hair. Have you seen it?
With that hair, yeah, definitely.
Like a clown.
But like we were saying on them, that something we were watching earlier about, you know, if you wake up every day and you look like that, then you can get away with mid-afternoon naps.
That's true.
And get up and just look like
Sleepovers.
you've just woke up.
Yeah.
So I found this story about a Florida sheriff giving it large.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a sheriff who stunned the community and the arrested rappers. So a load of rappers had been arrested for being involved in gang-related incidents.
Okay.
I don't think they were professional rappers, but they probably put down rapper on their occupation.
And from the west side, massive.
But like, this was a Florida sheriff that's going viral following a press conference where he was taunting the arrested, the accused, by wearing their gold chains, hefty gold chains, placed it around his neck and began to freestyle, taunting the group who call themselves the Bell Gang. He says,
"Bitches now."
This is how he spit it, right? I'm going to try my best now. So he says, "You see, we got your gold," as he began his rap. "But we put your tails in the county jails. You think about that, brother." So it wasn't really freestyling. But I mean, I'm sure, he did it a bit better than that. He's a lyricist, lyrical master. Is this kid? No, is he? Here, but he's blinging up. He's got their jewelry around his neck, which is quite a hefty chain.
With the wrong
but according to the local affiliate station, which was Fox 13, the 6-month undercover investigation concluded in a narcotics officers did a drugs bust. Drugs trafficking was the offence. 32 individuals face 301 felony charges and 134 misdemeanors.
3 strikes, you're out, son.
Wow, these guys have been breaking the law. They seized 88,000 in cash.
Nice.
Yep, 89,000 in jewellery.
Even nicer.
And $283,000 worth of narcotics.
Someone's going to have a party tonight.
A haul and a half. Someone's not having a party.
That sheriff station's going to have a good party.
Yeah, they've got the fucking Jay-Z on and rocking around with these gold chains on. They found out, what is it, like, you know, $90,000 worth of jewellery.
Fucking hell, man.
Yeah, well, there you go. Anything else you've seen in the post?
You know what?
Get anything fun in the post?
Yeah, last week I thought I laughed my bollocks off. I absolutely laughed my bollocks off.
This was when you were poorly sick?
Yeah, it cheered me up, actually.
Cheered you up?
In a sort of way, but in a sick way. Because you know, with this, the outbreak in Australia and like what's been going on in Victoria and that, like the police were very heavy and like closing everyone down.
Due to the COVID shot.
Yeah. Now, the police have now want everyone to forget what they did.
Oh, we're not the old police that you've seen in the COVID thing. We're nice now.
We're nice policemen now.
Want an ice
and
cream?
Women. Yeah.
Patting kids on
we'll
the
help
head
you.
and shit.
What time is it? Yeah, it's go home time.
Helping old ladies across the street with the shopping and that.
So they've the actual Victoria Police Authorities have announced this.
That we're the good guys now.
We're the good guys now.
Bless 'em.
And that please don't Well,
We're not.
sorry,
we're
mate.
not stormtroopers.
Yeah, we're not.
We promise.
Yeah,
we're
honestly.
only looking out for your interests.
Yeah,
By dragging you off.
Yeah, exactly. You're doing exactly what China are doing right now as well. For
Have
26
they
million
realised that they
people.
were a bit heavy-handed? Do you think?
I think in
What do
one
you
way
guys
their
think?
arms were twisted, but in another way they don't have.
Well,
they shouldn't.
Australia. I mean, reputation-wise, I mean, I love our Australian friends and listeners. Got a lot of real Australian friends in the real world.
Oh yes, we
So
are.
yes,
It's
it's a
Lovely
lovely place. I'd love to visit.
I'd love to
Do
live
you think that the police were heavy-handed? I
Yes.
mean, because this
Very
is the
much
thing
so.
as well with media; it can be very skewed.
Yeah.
So what we see,
Yeah.
and we asked this as well last time, is what we're seeing in the media a true
Is it
representation
right? Yeah.
of what is actually happening in Australia?
Yeah.
Because Australia, let's face it, it's got a very friendly, welcoming, vibe, and they want to kind of promote that. As a kind of welcoming country for people to come. They want tourists to come and visit Australia.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not exactly the impression they want to project. So,
Yeah. Well,
is it a
that's
case of that Australia is now trying to backpedal and try and
slightly.
fix the bad press they got through that?
Yeah.
Now that they're in a better place COVID-wise.
Yeah. Well, they've got the money. They find that so many people. They've got money out of them now.
Yeah, but
now
it's,
they could kick him.
it's one of those. It's like, can we be oppressive and show our true colours when necessary, but then go back to all smiles and happiness?
Yeah, should we trust the ones who were supposed to be the ones who are protecting us?
Exactly. Can we look at that and say, oh, well, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt this time, but don't do it again? Because if the shit hits the fan again, are they going to revert back to that sort of, form of policing?
Exactly.
It's questionable, and it's valid for citizens to want to question that type or have those sort of concerns.
And we're being shut down left, right, and centre at the
so
moment.
I don't knock that, but it is an interesting discussion, that one.
It is.
So what do you think is going to
Funny
happen there? Do you think that they're going to stick to that and try and reform? I mean, these.
I don't think it's a case of reforming.
In terms of reformation, it's like we've got that similar thing happening in the UK as well at the moment, because I don't know if you know, but obviously our police chief inspector of the Metropolitan Police, pretty much the head of the police in the UK, stepped down, no confidence and all the rest of it, and she ended up quitting. So we're in a similar situation. We've had heavy-handed police, and now are they trying to get a better reputation? Is it a global thing?
To be honest, I think it is more of a global thing now, because we have put our governments in a situation where they've got to answer to us, and they're not answering to us.
We
they're
expect
controlling us.
We expect more out of them. Let's face it. And then
you get dodgy hearing of money being made for the rich and the poor is getting poorer.
It seems like the police, right, are. We're the citizens.
Workers,
the police
they do all sorts of.
Are supposed to be there to make sure everything's lawful and all the rest of it, and serve the community.
Nowadays.
Yeah, don't really come out for much. Yeah. Or if you do ring them up, you've got to be kind of patient with them to come out.
Or they're doing a service like they've been doing. They did it in December. We're going to stop all these robberies.
If it was against the public, then they come out in force, and they're there in force to show the numbers. And it's like, well,
when we want our questions answered.
The police aren't there to push us back. They're there to serve and protect us. So why are we always in a opposition side with the police?
Because the government's
and that's a valid question. It's like, how can we trust the police whenever they're represented, they're in a line against the public rather than with the public? And how can we kind of trust that they're gonna, if we ring them and need them, they're gonna even be there at all. But in the other sense, they're there to kind of hold us back in a protest situation or when we mass.
The controllers.
It's a controlling thing. It does, and they do look like stormtroopers as well.
They do.
Anyway.
They've got more military fucking outfits and anything. But there has been officers who actually turned around and gone, nah, this is wrong.
I mean, and you find that. I mean, it's a personal thing, isn't it? And it's like if I've got something about you and you kind of can understand what the situation is without just being following orders.
Yeah.
Then you might turn around and go, well, I don't actually agree with this.
And all of them would be fucked if the Hague got involved.
Well,
put it that way. So they wouldn't have, they would not, if they thought about it again, they wouldn't do it. But, it's the way it is.
Well, we were talking about COVID earlier.
Yeah.
We've not talked about COVID for ages, but we've got a couple of stories tonight, which, I mean, it's coming back.
Yes.
You've had it.
Well, yeah.
We're only talking about it really because you've had it, but I mean, it is coming back. I mean,
it's going away now slightly because
a few people we know, my parents have had it. Well, my mum's had it.
Yeah, there was a big rise, but it's now slowing down. Supposedly it's slowing down now.
All right, well,
Apart
hope it
China.
does. And everybody out there who's been feeling down with COVID, I hope you're all feeling better or on the mend.
Yeah.
COVID, Canada, our friends in Canada,
Canada.
They never cease to amaze me. Yeah,
that is true.
The Canadian Health Authority, or the health agency.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Well, they were meant to tweet out a link to the most latest COVID data.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
And instead of tweeting out the latest COVID data, the Canadian Health Agency mistakenly tweet out a porn link instead.
No.
Yes.
Oh, brilliant.
Quebec's health
Was it
ministry said we were looking for the cause after tweeting the link to a porn site. So
we're
looking who was responsible for the tweet, basically.
Yeah. So it's probably the person who did the tweet.
So Quebec's Minister of Health and Social Services made an emergency announcement when a tweet to a link to Pornhub foot fetish video went out instead of
fetish.
the COVID-19 figures.
Hey, fetish.
So it was foot fetish related.
Could have been worse.
How could it have been worse? I mean, at the end of the day, well, it could have been worse.
Yeah, it could have been worse.
But
go on then. Yeah,
the fact that it was it sounds like a bit of a tame video, but the
sounds
fact
like
that it went to a website like that. No, I think it was probably a disgruntled employee by the sounds of it.
Well, yeah, so you've sacked lately, and there you go. Probably got the perpetrator.
No, to be honest, you always get people just taking the mick as well. Somebody who's just trying to have a laugh or get someone in trouble.
Yeah,
and it's not
Certain
adequate workplace behaviour.
Yeah, and he's uncovered as well on the data, the information.
Yeah, these people actually it's quite important information that you shouldn't be tweeting out or swapping about and putting out porn links.
Bit wrong timing.
But Canada, come on.
Well,
bless you.
Well,
like I say, it wasn't Canada. It wasn't the country's fault, was it? It was one person.
An auto. Might have been two. Might have been a couple of people. Might have been a group of people.
Oh yeah, one of them sent. One of them found the link. One of them sent him the link. We sent him to another guy. He posted it.
Yeah, you got. It
was a conspiracy.
Yourself. Yeah, that's it. Wrap it round.
It was a conspiracy to thrill the world.
It was. Well, I bet this woman, a granny of 75, who has the oldest Easter egg in the world, and she hasn't munched on it yet.
What?
She's had it since she was 13.
Really? She kept an Easter egg since she was 13.
Yeah.
That is one restrained kid.
And she spends money on the fucker.
What maintaining it?
Yeah. She spends 80 quid a month.
Buffing it.
Keeping it in a cold storage.
How can she even know that that's the same Easter egg? It's like Trigger with his brush.
Well,
do you know what I mean? It's like, I've had the same brush for 80 years. Yeah, but that's Trigger again. Like I say, Trigger says, I've had the same brush for 40 years, and it's in that time, it's had 10 new heads and 16 new handles.
Yeah,
and it's
but
like, how can you say it's the same brush? Do you know what I mean?
You can see it's like it's.
What does she do? Get like bars of milk chocolate and try and patch it up and keeps it in a refrigerated room.
Well, she might do, Yeah, Imagine how much it costs to buy it now.
I don't know.
And you
I'm
can't even
not
fucking
convinced
eat the
that
thing.
that's an actual
It's
thing.
art.
I don't think. Is it art, or is it just the fact that
Someone would pay 80 million for a piece of art like that.
Why would you keep it? Do you know what? I
Why
don't
not?
understand, because it's like that. Those people who go, "Oh, I
She weren't
found a
keeping it to eat
McDonald's
it,
burger in my coat pocket
Yeah.
that's been there for 7 years." Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like, are you telling me? Yeah, you kept a burger in your coat pocket
Hold
for 7
on.
years.
Hold on, there are people out there who had a little toy with a little computer cat or dog on there running around, and you had to feed it every day, take it out for
Tamagotchis?
walks.
Are you talking about Tamagotchis?
Yeah, they're still around.
Well,
And
yeah,
they've still been going for years. So
yeah, but
what's-
that's what I'm saying. But like, when
least you don't have
are
to
you
feed the
ever in a
fucking egg.
situation when we're talking about two different things here, blatantly? But when are you in a situation where you put a cheeseburger in your pocket of your coat and then forget you've got put a cheeseburger there
I might want to put a cheeseburger in my coat pocket and
for
know
later?
it was there.
For later.
No,
Do you
and
know what I
keep
mean?
hold of it and go, you know what? Let's see how long it will take to ferment this fucker in my pocket. There
Well,
you
that's
go.
purposely doing it.
Yeah.
That's not like accidentally.
She's obviously
They
she's
make it out
purposely
as if
done
they
it.
accidentally
She
do
hasn't
it,
like
but-
gone, I put that in the attic when I was 13 and I never went back since.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's purposely kept that chocolate egg, and for what reason? It was
Probably
it
'cause it was a
sentimental
gift.
purposes.
Well, probably because it was
Well,
a gift from my father.
Yeah, but to eat it, that's why you got her, to enjoy it.
Yeah,
Not
but
to,
she
but she's enjoyed
appreciates-
it for so many years, I suppose. Oh,
yeah,
well.
you know what I mean? She appreciates that she's had it for that long that, like, you know, she hasn't just gone, I'll bet it, and right, it's all
Scoffed it.
gone
Well,
now.
well, so that's a message to the kids out there who've
Yeah,
already
keep your
eaten
chocolate
their
eggs.
Easter eggs.
Yeah, don't.
I remember getting Easter eggs, and like, you know, sometimes you'll get them and they'd last you ages. You
Yeah.
get your selection boxes at Christmas and they'd last you till Easter.
Well, yeah, that's true. That is true. But now it's like, it lasts 5 minutes now.
Well, it won't
But
last
they're getting
5
smaller
minutes.
and smaller as well, and more expensive.
What, chocolate?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely
God
happening.
damn ridiculous.
So anything else? So I've got a couple more stories, and then I think that's it for the show. To be honest, it's been an interesting one.
It has.
I've got a few bear stories.
All right.
Right, so this is a famous bear from Italy.
Oh, yeah.
He was in famous bear for Italy Bakery. Yeah,
Ooh.
so it must have been a mascot or something.
Yeah.
But it repeatedly broke back in. Yeah. After it was rewilded or kind of released back into nature.
Yeah.
Kept trying to break back into the bakery facility or wherever it was being held.
It had something good
Yeah,
there.
it knew it was onto some
Hell
cake.
yeah.
It's like all them numbers, mate. It's not getting none of them in the wilderness,
That's
is it?
it, you know what I mean? I've got fresh meat walking round if I'm ever hungry as well.
So it was a 2-year-old brown bear, and it was known as Julian Cato.
Has it got a passport? What the fuck?
Walked 150 kilometers home, yeah, from a small mountain town.
Yeah.
Basically to just get back to this place. Yeah, it loved it there, and it broke back in.
Yeah, well, live there, you know what I mean? What's
I
that?
would. I just feel why if it wants to be there, then what's the problem? It's only when you're taking it out of captivity,
Yeah.
and it's you
We
know,
could be eating all this stuff and shit like that, you know, and shitting on the floor and, you know,
it's
not
not
cleaning
very
up behind
high.
it.
Yeah, but well, you look after it, don't you?
Well,
You do.
yeah, you kick it in the back garden.
I found this other bear story as well,
yeah.
which is wandering polar bears.
Wandering polar bear.
Yeah, wandering polar bears, which have
do wander.
been caught on camera climbing on roofs of houses.
All right.
Polar
burglars?
bears. Yeah, well, yeah, normally pandas.
Yeah.
Looking like burglars.
Yeah,
But
think
this
so.
is the bear had no idea it was being watched, and the person inside the house had no idea what was going on until she
No.
opened the door.
Whoa.
And there was a bear on the roof.
Oh, shit, man.
Yeah, man. You had a bear story, didn't you?
Yeah, there was a bear that in America that it walked back into town 100 miles just to get back to the town.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that's what we've just talked about, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it could have
must have been like the bakery bear story.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah,
was
yeah.
it in Italy?
No, it was in America.
Was it?
Yeah.
There you go
yeah,
then. Yeah.
There's
They would just want a hug.
Yeah.
They just want to be loved.
Bears want loving too.
They were like, come on, guys. We want to get in the warm houses. It's cold out here. Gives a cake.
It is cold out there nowadays, isn't it, really?
It's cold outside.
Well, have you heard about Elon Musk's turn of events
I know
on
that
Twitter?
he bid on Twitter, didn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, is this a good thing? Because I know you were telling me about Elon Musk setting up a social media similar to what Trump was wanting to do.
Questioned
with
it,
the idea that you can have free speech and you can say what you want and no one's going to fucking penalise you
That's
for
right,
it.
man. Yeah.
And Elon Musk actually has bid on Twitter, but in a capacity where he's going to be a silent partner and he doesn't even want to be on the board.
Well, he paid $3 billion for 9.2% on March the 14th this year. So that was all good and happy. He was happy with that. Then he was saying he wasn't going to go on the board or anything like that. But what he's done is he's done a massive bid of $41 billion dollars, to actually buy the company
outright.
Yeah, so he's adding an extra £9
Well, he
on
must
the
see
shares.
something in it because, like, obviously, I mean, Twitter's a big platform and there is potential for doing other things, as they've already proven they've got a lot of new features.
It's never really made money though. This is the thing.
Well, this is the thing though. He has a kind of dab hand at making things that don't make money, and he's obviously got an idea for it.
But it depends on what he's going to bring to the table. I mean, he could keep it as it is, and don't forget, at the minute, there's brand new rules coming in for all these platforms as well. So whatever the new rules come in, might
how
affect
he stacks
how
up there. Yeah, exactly. It might be a case of that he doesn't like what he gets.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And he's stuck with a platform that he can't really work with.
Yeah. But as far as I'm aware, they haven't accepted it yet. But realistically, they're going to have to accept it, because if they don't accept it, their shares are going to end up going down, because they went up again massively.
What, just because Elon Musk's affiliation with it?
Yeah, when he bought the 9.2%, he got like the shares just ballooned up. I think there was something like 15% on top of the shares or some shit like that. But then,
that kind of makes sense, to be honest.
Slowly went down again, and then he rose back up when he put the $41 billion bid in. Hopefully, if he does get it, that he's going to do something helpful with it. But he generally does anyway, doesn't he? You know what I mean? The richest man in the world, and
exactly.
He doesn't exactly throw the money away and waste it. He's actually doing something for the
planet, I suppose, isn't he? Yeah, I mean, talking about Elon Musk, SpaceX Crew 4 astronaut mission for NASA.
Nice.
That's been cleared for the 23rd of April.
Oh, sweet.
So that's going to be happening soon. Looking Buck Rogers as fuck in the white spacesuits.
I know.
It's crazy as fuck, mate. The photo just of the guys who are going up, which is two male astronauts, 2 female.
Yeah.
And they look chuffed to bits.
So they should be as well,
they should be. NASA and SpaceX teams conclude that the 7-hour flight is going ahead. They're in readiness for a review of Crew 4 today, which was the 15th of April. The agency's Kennedy Space Center in Florida said there's no big worrisome issues for Crew 4.
Ah, good.
So everything's on track.
Looking right.
For SpaceX and Falcon 9 rockets to proceed from the KSC's pad 39A at 5:26 a.m.
Sweet.
Or 9:26 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. There you
Good.
go. That's
Good.
happening on the 23rd of April.
Have you heard about...
Have you heard the
Mars?
news about Mars? No, go on.
A question about Mars. They always thought that underneath it was dead, basically. It didn't have an iron
I've heard
core
that they've
or
had,
anything
like, underground seas and all sorts about Mars.
Well, it sounds like there's more eruptions going underneath there than we believed before.
Well, we've got a camera on Mars now as well, so that makes a big difference in the terms of what we can kind of perceive, can see. And there's a difference between having a camera there, and you see what happens when we see earthquake footage. Yeah. From CCTV cameras, the camera shakes to buggery, and you can see there's an earthquake happening. Yeah. Right. If you've got a rover on the planet, and all of a sudden there's a seismic activity, then more. Your rover's going to shake. Which means sensors that go off if there's seismic activity on the rover will probably tell NASA what for the first instance. But you've got video evidence of stuff happening, movement, rocks falling, all this type of stuff. And if this is happening more and more, then they can probably surmise that there is more...
300 times more than there was.
More activity going on Mars than they recently thought. Yeah. Because they didn't have boots on the ground, if you like. So, No.
But then it also, we've got to make sure that, it's not too dangerous for us for when we finally get there. Because the plan is the moon, the setting
We're having a Mars quake.
Get everything ready to plant people on the moon so we can get and set up for Mars.
Well, can't wait to get there. I mean, maybe it won't be us, but maybe they'll celebrate my being on Mars by watching the 100-year movie.
Will be there. Our names
that's actually true.
And
that.
The site.
I think that's going up in 2026, isn't it?
Yeah, 2026,
Yeah, the Never a Straight Answer podcast is going to space. It's going to Mars in 2026.
Yeah, we're going to be out there for the generation, billions
for
of
a
years.
while.
Well, yeah. Till the planet gets destroyed,
Yay, we will.
That's a long time.
So, UFOs, been plenty of those.
Oh, yeah.
Getting seen all over the place, and I don't know if it's because people are a bit more wary of them or open to see them, but, UFOs are being spotted, and what more can you ask for? I mean...
More evidence, please.
Well, this is it. I mean, we want more evidence, but, I mean, there's going to be more... There's going to be more agencies coming out, which are like the X-Files, if you like, government agencies that are going to be looking more into,
Yeah, that's true. But
every
it doesn't mean they're going to tell us the truth, though.
Thing, like, cryptids, or all the stuff we talk about.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to hire us. If you want to give us a job, I mean, we're already 175 episodes in.
I'd only accept it if we can only tell the truth. No, this bullshit in the corner and shit like that. If I want to have a look over there into that Black Ops and go, yeah, that's a part of it, I'm fucking doing it. That's the deal.
I'd say so. What the hell was that?
A nice paycheck as well.
Oh, yeah, big government paycheck is all you need.
Of course. I was thinking about this the other day, actually, about, MIBs. You don't hear as much now as
what about Men in Black?
To. Yeah. You know what I mean? You don't hear as much.
Maybe they're just too much undercover than they used to be. Do you know what I mean?
Or it could be that they're more out there now. There's fucking films about them and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, in one sense you're right, because at the end of the day, like, now the cover's blown. It's almost like what's it?
Now we've got to give a little bit.
No, what was it? Area 51.
Yeah.
Area 51 happens, and it's almost like, well, we've got to move
to the
now,
world,
haven't we? It's like we're not a secret organisation anymore. We've been exposed, so we rather have to move our research facilities elsewhere, somewhere else secret, and then just make this a big tourist trap. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
Which kind of is what they've done.
True. And actually, talking about Area 51, the sad passing of John Lear.
Yes.
Who was actually a part of the video of spotting the 3 videos that come out that was spotting the UFOs actually in Area 51 with Bob Lazar. He was one of them, a part of the 3 team. But he had loads of experience, he had some wacky stuff out there as well, but he was well respected in the community, and sadly he passed last week.
Yeah.
At 76 I think he was. But yeah, it'd be a sad loss.
All right. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. John Lear passed away. Well, there you go. Sorry to hear. Like I say, sorry to hear that. What can you say,
Yeah,
man? The
I
guy
know,
was big
yeah.
in the game.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of them like going now. You know what I mean? And like the specialists and the ones
Yeah,
who
the guys
have
who
got
were
the,
actually in the knowledge. and all the
yeah,
rest of
yeah,
it,
you could actually get into and people.
You just
will
bummed
actually
me
talk
out
to them.
then. Sorry, not in the sense
yeah,
that
yeah.
what you were saying. It was the fact that John Lear has passed away, and I mean obviously R.I.P.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I found this last story before we finished the show.
Yeah.
We were talking about dragons last time.
We were,
met.
yeah.
I found this story last week, and I was like, interested because obviously we were talking about dragons.
Yeah.
But this is what a fisherman has caught in the ocean.
Okay.
So photos were released of what appears to be a dragon. I think
Fuck
my
off.
phone will
A
stop
dragon?
beeping. So yeah, a Russian fisherman. This could be Russian propaganda. Though.
Well,
But
yeah.
like a Russian fisherman has unearthed an array of bizarre sea creatures while sailing in the Norwegian Sea, including specimens like baby dragons and cheeseburgers.
Cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
What
He's found a
the fuck?
cheeseburger.
He's found McDonald's.
So it's probably what they left behind.
Yeah,
as they
yeah.
bailed out of Russia. But basically his pictures that he posts really weird because obviously he catches all sorts of stuff. Some of the fish like mutated a little.
Yeah.
Some of them are just kind of oddities. One photo in particular went viral because it looked like a baby dragon. Yeah. So the photo of a pinkish fish with a long feathered tail and lacy wing fins went viral after comments basically compared it to a baby dragon. I've got to admit, it does look like a baby dragon.
And you could put, like we were talking about dragons, a lot of them are at sea as well.
Yeah,
Which-
and that's it. Yeah, I mean, if you were to see something like, full grown
Yeah.
of this, then
Yeah,
you would
yeah,
maybe
yeah,
potentially think that was like dragonish.
Yeah.
It looks like a newly hatched dragon to me. One person said in the comments, while another one said it looks like a baby dragon.
Well, if it looks like a baby dragon, it could be, yeah, baby dragon.
Well, if it looks like a baby dragon and
Yeah.
walks like a baby dragon, then it's got to be a baby dragon,
Yeah.
I'd say. Let us know your comments if you've seen the story. I'll
Yeah.
post some pictures. Well, that's it. I think that's the show.
Aye, I think it is, son. I think
I
it
do
is.
think you're right. I've enjoyed it. I hope
Yeah.
you guys have too.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week.
We will.
Before we do go, if you'd like to get in touch, if we've got any comments, queries, or suggestions regarding what we've talked about, or what you'd like to see in the future
Yeah.
in the show,
Do you want us to talk about?
drop us an email at neverstraightanswer@gmail.com.
Yeah.
You can go over to the website at neverstraightanswer.co.uk,
24/7.
where we've got plenty to occupy you with blogs and downloadable content, videos,
Stories.
all sorts of stuff. Some of the blogs that we post, not
Yeah.
just the older ones, but like some of the blogs we post are pretty cool.
Yeah.
If you want to get involved, write a blog for us, send us your ideas.
Yeah,
We'd love to hear from you. You can get us on all the social media platforms. We're on Twitter.
You can.
Elon Musk, new baby.
Yeah.
At NASA_never. On Instagram at Never a Straight Answer. And like I say, hit up the website. We're available on all podcast platforms. So wherever you get your podcasts, just search Never a Straight Answer and I'm sure you'll find us.
Yes, we're there.
Even on Alexa
Yeah.
and all that. You say,
Yeah,
Alexa, play
Well,
Never a Straight Answer. And
I
we do
don't
it.
trust that bit.
Also, available on YouTube.
Yes, we are.
And if you'd like to contribute to the show, we're available on Patreon. Buy us a coffee, and you
yes.
can donate via the website.
Therefore,
That's it for us this week.
It is indeed.
Glad to have you back, Mr. Taylor.
Yes, thanks.
I'm
to
glad you're
be
feeling
back.
better.
Yeah.
And we'll be back for another episode next week.
We will. Indeed.
Exciting times.
Yes.
We'll catch you next time. I've been Gaz.
I've been Taylor.
We've been the Never a Straight Answer podcast. Peace.
Out.